When my father remarried, I didn't expect a fairy tale. But I also didn't expect Miranda. She came into our lives like a thunderclap, tall, elegant, and cold in a way that didn't match her picture-perfect smile. Her mother, Lillian, was sweet, a little naive perhaps, and hopelessly in love with my dad. I remember watching them at the wedding, hands entwined like teenagers, and thinking maybe things wouldn't be so bad. Maybe Miranda and I could even become friends. It took about 3 days to realize that would never happen. Miranda was my age, only a year older, and that should have been a bridge between us. Instead, it was a battlefield. She was used to being the only daughter, the center of attention, the one who never had to share a mirror or a father. When she saw me, she saw competition. She never said it outright. That wasn't her style. Miranda was all about implication. Her attacks were dressed in silk, compliments laced with venom, smiles with sharp edges. "Oh, you're wearing that?" she said one morning, her tone light as air. "That's so authentic." At first, I thought I was imagining it, that maybe I was being paranoid. But then my shoes would go missing the day of a big event. My phone would mysteriously vanish when I needed it most. One night, while working on a scholarship application, I returned from a break to find my document closed and unsaved. I said nothing, at least not to her. Instead, I started paying attention. I watched her the way a chess player watches an opponent. Calm, quiet, observing every move. If she wanted me to fight, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction. Then came the scarf incident. It was a red silk scarf, my grandmother's. I wore it only on special occasions. One morning, it was gone. That evening, Miranda wore it to dinner like it was hers. "Isn't this vintage adorable?" she said, twirling the end of it. "I found it in a box upstairs, must have been Mom's." I looked her in the eye. "That was my grandmother's. It was in my drawer." She blinked, all innocence. "Oh, maybe it got mixed up by accident." My father looked confused. My stepmother pursed her lips. No one said anything. Later that night, I retrieved it from her room and left a note. "Next time you want to borrow something, ask." A week later, she told my crush that I was obsessed with him, that I wrote about him in my diary, that I had pictures of him in my drawer. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I let him drift away, and then I focused on what mattered. My grades, my goals, my peace. But I started documenting everything. Screenshots, notes, security footage. Our hallway had a small camera above the stairs, installed after my dad's laptop had been stolen during renovations. I used it once, just once, when she accused me of stealing her bracelet. I showed the footage at dinner. There she was, slipping the bracelet into her own gym bag the day before. She went pale. My stepmother dropped her fork. "I must have forgotten I put it there," she mumbled. I didn't say anything. I didn't have to. The silence did the work. After that, she changed. Slowly. Resentment still simmered. But the games stopped. Or at least, they became less vicious. Maybe she realized I wasn't going anywhere, that I wouldn't fight her, but I also wouldn't lose. One rainy Sunday, I found her sitting on the kitchen floor back against the cabinets crying. "I used to be enough," she said. "Before you. Now it feels like I don't know who I am." For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt sad. "You don't have to compete with me," I said. "There's room for both of us." She wiped her eyes. "I don't know how to not be jealous of you." "Start by figuring out who you are when no one else is watching," I said. She didn't reply, but she nodded. Over time, we found our balance. She still had her sharp edges, and I still had my walls. But we met in the middle more often. She stopped trying to sabotage me. I started inviting her in. It wasn't a perfect sisterhood. It was something else. Something more honest. Years later, on the day I graduated college, she was the first to hug me. "You always knew who you were," she whispered. I envied that. "I still do." I smiled. "Maybe now you know who you are too." She laughed, a real one this time. Work in progress. And somehow, that was enough.